Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you're as grateful for the fast forward button as the rest of us. That was Adam's foray into taking too much Molly one night. I can just see you with your shirt off, sweating, making that beat.
Sunglasses on at the computer, even though the lights are off.
It's just the
It's gonna be
humidity.
awesome.
This is a banger. Is it hot in here? God damn.
All the monitors reflecting green text rapidly across his glasses.
Oh,
as it
yeah,
reflects
absolutely.
off of
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
He's literally coding the song. It's not even like a DAW or Fruity Loops or anything like that. He's literally coding the fucking song as he types.
What in tarnation?
What in darnation?
And there's a large can of Not Monster next to him.
Non-monster.
That's kind of what using a tracker was like back in the days. It's
What's
like
that?
barely a DAW. It was like
Oh.
pre-DAW. You would use like this thing, and it was just like you hit play and it would just go down vertically and just play shit like samples in order.
You can go
No
down
real.
vertically on this sample.
Hey, come here. Turn your camera.
Pretty short sample.
I love it. Sitting here looking up current news, I was like, I don't really can't think of anything to talk about, but
Went to Casa Bonita this week. That was an experience.
yeah, how was that? You didn't leave us feeling like it's the exciting sit in a queue for 4 months and wait for it type.
Have you been to
Experience.
Meow Wolf?
I have not yet. No,
It's kind of, well, you don't
I
go to
know.
Meow
I've
Wolf for
seen
the
pictures
cafe,
and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
just like you don't go to Casa Bonita for the food.
Still, though, like that was supposed to
It's
be
a
the
restaurant.
Yeah, but the guys from South Park are like Adam. Like I could see them like ironically making shitty food. Like it still
Well, it
sucks.
was shitty even before it shut down. Like that was
Well,
the
I
whole
know.
thing.
I
Yeah,
know.
I
it
mean,
was.
it won't cause food poisoning now.
Yeah, and I guess it like used to.
It's
So
the upscale Taco Bell.
for those of you that have been with us since the beginning, hi, Adam's mom. Actually, I don't even think she listens. She's married now. She hasn't got time for this bullshit. Rich, who started this podcast with us a couple years ago, he's a native of Colorado, and he was the first dude I met when I moved out here for my job. And we go up into our office, and the office hadn't even been built yet, so everyone's just kind of finding a spot to hang out and work. And I met this dude, and he immediately just like walked up and was like, "We're friends now." And I'm like, "Okay," And people would come up and ask him like, "Yeah, hey, what kind of stuff should we do?" And he'd tell them all this stuff, and he'd be like, "Oh man, yeah, and you got to go to Casa Bonita and go get the food and all that," And they'd walk away, and he'd turn to me and be like, "Don't ever eat Casa Bonita. Do you understand me? Never." I was like, "What? Why?" He's like, "Dude, you don't." He said, "Go there, check out the cliff divers, eat the sopapillas. Don't eat any of the food. You will get the shits." And then like somebody would walk by and be like, "Hey, we're going to Casa Bonita tonight on your recommendation." And Rich is like, "Yeah, cool, man, cool. Let me know what you think."
He was telling me about that. It was like the whole inside joke with all the Colorado natives.
Yeah, as the transplants come in,
Oh yeah, you gotta go to Casa Bonita. It's the best Mexican food you'll ever eat.
ever, right? I mean, come on, look at it. It's Casa Bonita. It's the beautiful house.
Just call it
Well-
the best Mexican food in town. That way you
It's-
just set the benchmark right there.
Dude, seriously, right? Like
It felt like a weird mix of a Disney attraction and shitty Mexican food. I mean, it wasn't the worst I've ever had, but the bar was pretty low for that place.
And the thing is, and I sincerely hope this doesn't come across as sounding racist, but knowing some of the other podcasts we've done, me, no. I don't mean to be racist, but
Well, actually,
you would think so. And Doug can back me up on this. When we were in Alabama, and it was Central Alabama, it was Birmingham, so it's not like it was.
I'm not
Southern.
racist. Doug can back me up on this.
Yeah, I'm not racist, but when me and Doug were in Alabama,
I mean,
raise Dale and raise hell.
yeah, Alabama. All they say is thank God for Mississippi. the Mexican food there was actually on point. And I'm sure, Doug, you remember, I used to call them
Well,
bodegas, even though I know that's not what they're called, but they were just these little unassuming block buildings, sometimes in the middle of fucking nowhere. And you'd go in and for like $7, $8, $9, you'd get this fucking platter of Mexican food, burritos. And it was very simple. That was the one thing I remembered is like, it wasn't all crazy with sour cream and all this other stuff on it. It was very basic. What are the peppers?
chili relleno.
Relleno. Thank you. I had never
Yeah,
had them
So
before,
Rellenos.
good.
and it
Chili
came
rellenos.
Rellenos, Relanas,
Can I get them
and
Roleno pepper?
it came with one of those. I don't know why I can't say Relleno. And I was like, oh, it's just a stuffed pepper. Yeah, right. Very white, dude. I put that in my mouth. I was like, oh my, So the
Yeah, you
food there,
did.
the Mexican food there, was so good. And you would think that being out in the West, Southwest, right? Texas and New Mexico and Mexico, you would think the food here would be better than Mexican food. And it's not. And I think
It's
it's all made by
bad,
white
dude.
people.
It's
I
bad.
mean,
Huh?
Well, for Alabama, there was a very specific reason for that. Um, since I lived in Alabama from 1975, yeah, 1975 until 2014.
I'm sorry.
Um, yeah, it's okay. I escaped. Um, but
For now.
regardless, in the 70s and 80s, there were not that many Mexican restaurants at all in Alabama. And then, yeah, around about the 90s, before Bill Clinton started talking about immigration and all of that other shit, uh, like in the later 90s, there were a lot of Mexicans at that time because like work permits became easier to get,
Mm,
and people were coming over here making money. They would stay for a certain amount of time and then they would go home and then live, 10, 15, 20 years off of what they made.
right.
So while all of this was going on, when they started tightening up immigration policy in the 90s, um, because you had a lot of agricultural workers who were mainly farmhands working in chicken
Mm,
factories,
I
all
see
of
what.
that kind
Okay.
of stuff. The
Yeah.
population of Latinos
Yeah.
uh, started seriously increasing in the 90s,
That
and there
makes
was
sense.
a corresponding where they start, where people started opening up Mexican restaurants and they would hire actual Mexicans to cook the Mexican food.
Right.
And, the guy that you really wanted was the little schmuck that, he decides he wants to run a taco stand out in front
Oh,
of
yes.
some trailer park.
Oh,
You want to
yes.
hire that guy.
No, I want him
And
to just keep making those tacos outside the fucking trailer park because they are bomb.
yeah,
Which trailer park is this, and what's the address?
Right?
there was one in Fultondale called Hundred Oaks Mobile Home Park, and it was the only place that I had ever had because they would still go out and sell meat goats out in the country once the Mexicans showed up. Because before that, people just let the goats wander around. They might milk the goat. They may have
They were
goat every
lawnmowers.
once in a while, but most people weren't using them for produce, I guess you would call them, or livestock.
Yeah, in the
I don't
South,
know.
they use them for something else.
Yeah, got them up close to the edge of the cliff, but that way they
Yeah, they
back up.
back up. Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
to edge the goat.
So I went over there and they had goat and they did it al pastor style.
Mm,
That is still
God
I have
damn.
I have been chasing that taco to this day,
Brother, we've
and
all chased some
nobody
tacos in our day.
nobody has
Different
ever
kind.
made me a taco as good as that
Is
ever
that one?
in my life.
Ever since that day, I've been chasing the taco high.
That's how I felt about Mexican food in Georgia. Is I never really disliked it, but I never really went out of my way to get it in
Yeah.
bumfuck Georgia.
Yeah.
And like 2 months before I moved out here, they opened Taqueria.
Mm-hmm.
I walk in and there's like a bar with, I don't know, 20 different homemade hot sauces,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
all kinds of accoutrements and shit. And I go up there and look at the menu. Expecting like some hard shell tacos and get the corn tortilla soft shell tacos, some
Yeah. A gordita.
chorizo, and random stuff. And I think I ate that place probably at least 3 or 4 times a week for the month or two before I moved out here.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
had
And
a bunch
Doug,
of hot sauces, but you didn't eat any of those, right? You're not a hot sauce
he's
fan.
not a hot sauce guy.
Oh no.
No. He doesn't have the
I
palate
haven't
for it.
contributed to Dan's wall of flavor talent.
Guys that the guys that work for me, we've started a on one of the guys' desk. We call him the minister of flavor, and we all just buy hot sauces to try, and we bring them in and we put them on his desk, and then we all share them. And Robbie has brought me a couple that, as one of my guys said, eventually we're going to wind up with somebody having to go to the hospital for a bleeding asshole. So, because it's all ghost, scorpion. I came in one day and my guys had decided, one of the guys' family still lives back in Charlotte and back in the Carolinas, and they grow their own Carolina Reapers. So he brought this giant, I mean, giant bag of Reapers back with him, and they had decided at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I rolled in a couple minutes after 8, and there's 3 or 4 guys just standing around, and there's tears in their eyes. They're flushed. They're all drinking, Mountain Dew and stuff. I'm like, the fuck happened here? And they tell me the story that he brought in the Reapers, and so they decided to challenge each other and eat these Reapers. So they legitimately sat there and like just bit into these fucking Reapers, and they all paid the price. And I told each and every one of them, none of you are going home. Do you understand me? None of you are going home. So they all recovered pretty quick. But yeah, so that's the kind of dumb shit they do. I just sit back and watch. I like hot sauces. I like spicy food, but it's gotta like I was telling the guys about the chicken biryani from Hyderabad down there, Adam, and now everybody wants to try it. So we're gonna have to get a couple containers of it. And I told him, I said, man, this shit's warm. One of my guys is from his family's from West Indies. He's from New York City, but West Indies. And he hit me up one night, said, hey man, you gonna be in the office tomorrow? I said, yeah. He says, okay, I'm gonna bring you some. He made lamb and rice, and I forget what all it was. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna bring you some. I got some extra, and I know you like trying different foods. I'm gonna bring you some. I said, hey, that'll be great. So he says, hey, it's in the fridge. So about lunchtime, I go in and I nuke it, and bring it in, and I start eating it, and I was like, hey, oh, this, you didn't make this. You didn't make this as a white guy recipe, did you? And he looks at me and goes, fuck no. Dude, I was on fire. That shit
There's
hurt
been a
so
couple
bad.
times you've basically been assassinated
I,
with
I
like
told you I
someone will be like,
lost
"Where
hearing
are
in
you
my
gonna
left
be?
ear.
Where are you gonna be tomorrow, Dan? Where are you gonna be? Oh, you're gonna come into work? Okay, all right, cool, cool." Then they hang the phone up and they're like, "I'm gonna blow his ass up."
Yeah, the Indians that have worked for me, they I brought it on myself the one time because one of the guys brought in some chicken biryani. I had heard, I knew of chicken biryani from the Hyderabad house, and I was like, oh man, I love that stuff. And the guy had a big thing of it. I said, well, you ain't even gonna give me any. And I was really playing around. I wasn't expecting him to. And he's like, oh no, this is too hot for you. Okay, well now it's challenge accepted. I'm like, look here. And this was the first time. This was the first time I fucked with any Indian
Oh,
food.
honey, no.
Right.
No.
Right. And he he dipped some out and he's like, okay. Well, actually, he said, okay. Because he's a very, very quiet individual. But he dipped it
Hell
out.
yeah.
Hell yeah, exactly. And I went back
What?
to my
What'd you
desk.
say, Robbie?
Hmm?
What? What do you say?
Said,
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
yeah. So I go back to my desk. I put about 3 bites in my mouth, and you heard the meme, the announcer that says, "It was then that he knew he fucked up." But there had been so much bravado and machismo at that point that, and being the manager, I was like, I gotta be the alpha here. I can't let him see me sweat. So I eat it, and literally I'm sweating. The next day I get up, and my sinuses were so fucked that I couldn't hear out of my left ear. It fucked up my sinuses and my throat so bad, and whatever drained out or whatever it was, I could not hear out of my left ear for like the
Yeah,
rest of that day.
that was cerebral fluid draining out.
That may very well have been, dude. May very well have been. And I learned my fucking lesson. The When I worked in the kitchens way back in the day, worked at a Red Lobster, and the Mexicans were all eating this soup, and it was like a broth, like a real thin broth, watery broth, but you could see like some oil in it, and it had like a yellow color,
oh
and it literally
no.
had. It literally had jalapenos floating in it, and some other like herbs and spices, and it was just it was broth. It was wintertime in Columbus, Ohio, and I walked back and I could smell it, and I was like, man, it smells good. And one of the guys is like, they used to call me pinche pelon, which is fucking baldy or bald fucker, whatever. And he's like, pelon. He's like, you want some? I said, and another dude walks over to me, and he's like, no, 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 senor, no, no, no. And I'm like, what? And they all start laughing, and they're like, oh, pinche pelon. What did I hear? Oh, basically fucking whitey, basically saying that because I'm a white guy, I can't handle it. And again, typically I don't buy into like toxic machismo bullshit, but I'm like, fuck you, I can handle it. I got it
He could
down.
not, in fact, handle it.
I got it down. I drank that whole little bowl they gave me, and they're cracking like tears. They're laughing so fucking hard. They have tears in their eyes because my pale ass just lit up. I'm sweating. I'm red. My lips are chapped and torn, and now I start laughing. And I'm out there waiting tables, looking like I'm on meth at that point.
Just
So
like dripping sweat onto
yeah,
the
and
customer's
lips all
table.
chapped and going every couple of seconds. We're going oof. So yeah, I'm dumb about that, but I got initiated when I was moved to Alabama, and some field guys did the same thing. They're, hey, come to lunch with us, and they're like, here, eat this ghost pepper, eat this scorpion pepper. And I ate it, and I asked the guys, like, dude, is that all that was? That was just a pepper? He's like, why? I was like, because the fucking walls are breathing right now. So I had so much adrenaline and
That's only
endorphins.
stage one.
Oh, dude, it was so fucking weird. The lights got
That's
bright.
the come up.
We were the come up. We were at a meet and three, and the fucking lights got bright, and the wall started, and I could feel like breathing. And I was like, dude, was this like some cross between a hallucinogenic mushroom and a scorpion pepper? And the guy's like, no, sometimes that'll happen, And later I read on the internet that it's like the adrenaline and endorphins and stuff that your body pumps out to deal with the fact that you just put.
Still a scorpion.
Yeah, regardless, it's not the hallucinating you need to worry about, Dan. That'll pass in 14 hours. Unfortunately, so might the pepper. So, but
I think
yeah,
we need to start being gatekeepy about Carolina Reapers the same way people are gatekeepy about champagne, and tell them it's only really a Carolina Reaper if it comes from the Carolina region of the United States.
I think that's kind of already a thing, isn't it? I mean,
Hell
I've
yeah,
got
I'm gonna be
Reaper
an
seeds
asshole
that I'm
about
going
it.
to try to germinate this year and make. But
Well, dude, if you plant them out there, it's not
right, it's a Colorado Reaper.
right.
So
Exactly. And you
it's
better not.
it's like cultural appropriation.
Yeah,
So,
just
Well,
don't
it
bring
wouldn't
up
It's
the
going
be
to be from
difference.
Carolina.
but
it
it's
wouldn't be cultural appropriation if you found a way to cross it with weed. Then everybody would be people would be like, "You made spicy weed,
spicy weed. It's like,
yeah, that
why is it
that
so spicy?
but you that
You
really
have
would
lung
be
damage.
Spicy ketchup strain. It's a
Spicy
hybrid.
ketchup. Right? It's like hot boxing fucking mace.
Haha, we took
Or
5 years off our life.
out here, I'd have to crossbreed the peppers with hops so that you could make an IPA.
And green chilies.
Yeah, and green chilies.
Well, then it'd just be mediocre
Yeah,
and overrated.
mediocre and overrated. I did not know that that the reason that people get so bent out of shape about the Hatch chilies is apparently there is a Hatch Valley out here somewhere where
It's New Mexico.
Is it New Mexico?
Colorado's the Pueblo chili.
Oh, okay. I got them
God.
backwards then.
And
Yeah, I
don't
guess
tell the locals, but the green chili here is trash.
it's, it's good, but I mean, it's green chili. Like, I don't know.
It's a thing that doesn't need to be on every fucking thing. Yeah.
Right. Colorado style pizza, Colorado style sex, Colorado style go fuck yourself. Here's some green chilies.
You know how everything in the South is covered in gravy?
Yeah, everything here is covered in green chilies.
I mean, that's exactly what green chili is here. If you look up a recipe, it's a fucking flour and butter with green chilies, broth, and pork.
Yeah.
It's a fucking gravy.
You're not
It's
wrong.
gravy. It's
He's
pepper
not
gravy.
wrong. He's not. It's a thin, spicy gravy. So, and they put
That's
it on
funny.
fucking everything out here.
And gravy does not have to be spicy. I'm just saying.
No.
Speak for yourself, but
Hey guys, as a Southerner, just wanted you to know, gravy doesn't need to be spicy. Okay.
There can be things that you have spicy gravy on.
Sure.
I get it because, I do like to go to Lucille's, and they have a Cajun gravy that's a little spicy, and it's really good.
I could see that.
And every time that I go, I get one thing: 3 of their big ass biscuits covered in gravy.
Ooh,
yes.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that I get anymore. Yeah. I've had all of their other stuff.
Almost there.
And it's good, but nothing as good as 3 biscuits with gravy.
And then?
Keep talking, Daddy. Keep talking.
Is there any sweet tea involved?
Easy?
Oh, Step Chef, tell me about your biscuits.
Oh, no, Step Gravy. Well, when I put so much goddamn black pepper in my gravy, it might as well be a hot fucking pepper at that point. So, I do man, I haven't had biscuits and gravy in fucking forever.
And Dan,
Lucille's is probably about the closest I've found to a good Southern biscuit. That. Rise and shine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to a lot of the breakfast places just because they're pretentious and you go at like 6 a.m.
has entered chat.
Yeah, at 6 a.m. there's a line out the door fucking 2 hours long. Dude, fuck you. Unless they are giving fucking hand jobs while I eat by a big titty goth midget.
Not worth it.
Yeah, that's a Doug thing to say.
It's not.
You just said
Doug and I have fucking met and been around each other a long time, dude.
If they're not going to blow me while I'm eating this, then fuck it. I'm getting McDonald's.
But here's the thing, right? I can cook. Not only can I cook, but most of the time, I'll put it this way. If I'm planning to cook, I'm a good cook. I will admit that if I'm like, oh, fuck, I haven't eaten today. I've cooked some weird shit, overcooked it. I've eaten some shit that's been like, ugh, this is so overcooked and tasteless, but it's what I have. But if I know, like if you guys are coming over and I'm going to do burgers or steaks or something, right? My burgers are good as fuck. My steaks are good as fuck. I don't need to go to a restaurant.
I'll vouch for the burgers. I haven't had your steak.
No, and we'll do that. So I don't need to stand in line for 2 hours to eat some fucking hash browns or corned beef hash. And Snooze has good corned beef hash. My ex and I used to do to go. One of us would drive up and get it.
If you think theirs is good, try syrup.
Syrup?
Yeah.
I know, it's killing me here. I think there's a guy named Jeff owns that place. Doug, what was that? Was it the Biscuit Company or some shit like that?
Denver Biscuit Company?
Yeah, we all went down. I forget who all was there. I may have even still been married, and we all tried to go down, and they're like, "It's a 9-year wait," and we were like, "Yeah, nah, we out." We out. I forget where we went, but it was like we were like, no. And then I think Doug went down like on a Thursday or something on his day off weeks later, and hit me up. He's like, yeah, I'd have been mad if we would have sat there and waited. I was
Yeah,
like,
that
all
was
right.
Denver Biscuit Company, and yeah, you were still married at the time. We went to
Thought so.
one of because there was one in another end of town, and yeah, I remember going up there because this was like pre-pandemic.
Oh
I
yeah.
went up there and because it was definitely packed, and asked him how long the wait was going to be, and it was going to be some ridiculous shit.
Yeah, it was like an
Seriously,
hour and 40 minutes or something. And we were like, no.
I want to say it was like knocking on 2 hours.
Yeah, I thought so.
And then we just fucked off to some other place over there and went to go get something to eat. And that's, when you get up to that level, no,
No.
unless you're going to blow me while I eat it, I'm not going to
There you
stand
go.
there and wait, fucking 2 hours for it.
There it
No,
is.
if I have to bring a fucking
Yes.
snack to stand in line to go eat, then it's off the table.
Well, if I have to get reservations through a lottery system 3 weeks in advance,
Right.
fuck your tacos.
I'm
Yeah,
hungry
I
right
don't.
now, God damn it.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, guys, eat your breakfast so that we can go stand in line and wait for 2 hours to eat breakfast. It's, I just don't get it. But then again, all of us are neurodivergent fucking introverts. I'd say Robbie is probably the one trying to escape the most, but um, for the most part,
40 hours a week.
40 hours a week. I just don't. I, there's very little that I like doing. Like I went to the ice castles here a few years ago with a woman I was dating, and we had a really good time. It was fun. We drove all the way up to Dillon to go, but it was really fucking cool. And I was outside my comfort zone, but I had a great fucking time. I want to go to Meow Wolf. I want to go down there to the botanical garden, stuff like that. I, I don't mind going out and doing things, but like I had a trip planned in March to go to uh, Utah to see a YouTuber that I watch, Matt's Off Road Recovery. And I had my ticket, got my hotel reservations, time off at work. It was a 10-hour drive.
Whoa, ticket.
Ticket.
It
You
just
know?
sounded, you're like, yeah, there's a guy on YouTube that I like, so I was going to Utah to
Oh
his
yeah,
house.
yeah, 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 yeah.
We know where
Hey,
he lives, and we're going to
love is
go.
love. The internet has put a lot of people together. Um, but then I found out that they have sold almost all their tickets, and they have 10,000 tickets. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute. Do
It
I want
was
to
at that
drive?
point Dan realized he fucked up.
Yeah, he had fucked up. So the only thing I can't recoup is the ticket cost. It's like $100. I don't care. Um, but to drive 10 hours with my dog, which becomes 12 hours because, you got to stop, let him piss, stuff like that. Um, so I drive all the way out there, stay in a hotel. I'm spending, with gas and everything, probably at least $1,000, maybe $1,200, which whatever for a vacation, it's cool. Everything's fine. But then to go out there and be around 10,000 fucking people in the sand dunes watching shit, you can't get up close to anything. You can't see anything. You know what I mean? Like I don't like going to concerts at Ball Arena and stuff like that. I don't want to be in a big concrete bowl with 10,000 people ever for
Yeah,
anything.
we'd talked about this a few times, and I'm with you on that. I'll go see a few bands there, like Tool, for example.
Yeah,
It
because you're
wasn't my favorite concert experience by any means, but I
right.
still had a good time. I had some. I want to get the fuck away from people like 10 minutes before the show ended, but
Well, when we went to see Chevelle and who the fuck, 3 Days Grace, I think.
yep.
And we were like, oh, okay, looks like it's going to be the opener, which was like I forget who it was. Anyway, it was going to be the opener, and then 3 Days Grace, and then Chevelle. And we were like, okay, whatever. We got there. Well, because they were co-headlining, like every other night, they swapped headlined. Well, that night Chevelle went on before 3 Days Grace, which was really Chevelle. If you like rock, if you like Chevelle, they put on for three dudes, they put on an amazing fucking show. It sounds fantastic. They get done with their set. Me and Robbie are standing there, and it thins out because people are going to go to the bathroom and drink and stuff like that. And we're both just standing there and we look at each other. We look back at the stage.
Look at the time.
Yeah, we both look at each other again and we're like, you ready? And we fucking bounced. And it was like, that's when I knew Robbie was my favorite fucking concert partner. So he was picking up what I was putting down. It's like neither one. It was like, I could stick around for 3 Days Grace, but And yeah,
I
I
got
had enough.
mine.
Huh?
I got mine.
I mean, yeah. I just
Well,
exactly. Yeah.
Well, and then you got it's kind of like you got the blowjob, and then you got to finish
Right.
while still having the blowjob
Right.
because
Exactly. There was
it's like you got the concert experience, and then you're like, and we can leave right now, and there will be no
no
fucking traffic.
Yep. And there wasn't. And the thing is being that I am a Chevelle fan, like a huge Chevelle fan and not a 3 Days Grace fan. Exactly. I nutted already. Like Chevelle edged me for about 45 minutes. I nutted. They got off stage and I was like,
3
I
Days
need a sandwich
Grace.
and a nap.
3 Days Grace was the fancy dinner.
Yeah.
If they wanted you to do that, they should have done it before they blew you.
Exactly. Like now Taco Bell on the way home at best. I drop you off at best.
Yeah.
So, and that is a perfect segue. Actually, it's I don't know if that's a perfect segue or not, but I have a date tonight, like a real honest to God date. That's why I said I
What
wasn't sure if
time
it
am
was.
I picking you up again?
I mean, pretty much just right after the
Okay.
right after the
About
so
30 minutes with traffic.
well, yeah, at least the thing is, this is the first like legitimate date I've had in years, and what I mean by that is typically when you talk to women on Tinder, really any of the apps, but Tinder, Tinder tends to be my go-to only because there's the like quote unquote customer base. There's just everybody's on it if they're single and or not single and trying to fuck. But all the women that I've met off there, you chat for a week or two, you wind up
They ghost you.
well, oh god, the ghosting is fucking insane. Yeah, you one of you go somebody goes to somebody else's house, you fuck a couple of times, 2 3 times, and then they ghost you, right? And the thing is that a lot of the time I'm good with that, like whatever, I don't care. But as of late, man, I've been thinking about kind of wanting to start a thing again with someone, like not get married or anything, but have a person, go camping, fucking maybe move in with somebody one day. I mean, that's like the height of my commitment now. If I ask you to move in with me or we move in together, like I'm serious.
Hey, I'm just
But
saying my lease expires in May.
hey man, I've thought about it. All of us getting a fucking 4 or 5 bedroom house in Castle Rock somewhere. Um, yeah, I don't. But this is the first time that I've set something up and been like, let's just go get dinner or some shit and hang out and talk.
Show
Um,
up to dinner in a U-Haul.
so it's funny you say that because we were talking about lesbians and
Yes, U-Haul lesbians.
yeah,
Yep.
and I asked her. I said, "Hey, what does a lesbian bring to a second date?" And she said, "A U-Haul." And I was like, "Fuck yeah! All right, we're
Yeah,
good."
she's the one.
Yeah, right. And
I
she's
thought that was a
she's
joke until some lesbian friends mentioned that multiple times without asking them. And
There's
yeah,
truth in jest. I mean, it's a
yeah,
joke
right,
for a reason.
right. And the I don't even remember what it was that got me looking at this, but I was looking at the divorce rate. And I think I sent it to you guys. I think we were chatting back and forth about it, but I pulled up the divorce rate in the United States for heterosexuals, and it's like still around 50-50, right? And then you look up homosexual men, and it's like fucking 8% or some shit like that. And anecdotally, I mean, the numbers are skewed, right? But anecdotally, um, hold on a second. Are you done? Are you good? dog over there using her goddamn washcloth tongue to drink water. But anecdotally, all of the gay male couples that I know have been together for like 20 goddamn years. They can be 30 years old and they've still been together for 20 fucking years. Like they met each other in grade school. But then you look at the lesbian divorce rate and it's like 74% or something like that. I was like, well,
That
yeah,
makes sense.
they kind of, one, they jump into shit, and two, women are the ones that always start that shit, right?
Yeah, and
So
you got two of them, so
now you got two of them getting bored with each other and thinking everything's a fucking. I was telling a friend of mine, I got on Tinder again a few weeks back, and all of the bios were like, "I'm in my Kelsey era. I'm just on here looking for my Travis." And I had a little rant and was like, this is the problem right here, is that again, women are looking for this fantasy, and then they don't get it and they get bored and they go looking for the fantasy again. They don't like reality and accountability in relationships. And I'm
Same.
generalizing. I know it's not all fucking women, but um, a lot of them. And I think that, but I don't necessarily blame them, because I think media, I think society kind of pumps that into their head from a very young age. You know, princess finding her prince, and treat me like a queen and treat me like gold and da 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 da. No, I'll treat you like a human being and expect the same in return. Um, this chick asked me, she said, "What are you looking for in a relationship?" I said, "Oh, to be appreciated for who I am and not expected to change or, go way the fuck out of my way to make your life better." And she's like, "That's pretty cool." It's like, all right, well, if you're not bullshitting me. And that's when I realized how fucking jaded I really am. Like, we make our jokes, especially me and Doug. Well, especially Doug. Well, Doug. But I have
I
just
make a lot of jokes. Well, me and Doug make a lot of jokes. Well, Doug makes most of the jokes.
it's
Well, it's
Doug.
all Doug.
It's all Doug.
Yeah.
Thank you for explaining that to the people that didn't get it.
Now, just to recap,
Yeah,
Uh,
right. So now let's break this down in a sentence with anyway. So we make our
I'm
jokes
sorry.
about women being crazy and whatever. What is it? Tits or tires? If it's got tits or tires, it's going to do nothing but give you problems. Um, but
What that means is that like cars give you a lot of problems, and then also women give you a lot of problems.
there you go. There you go. You're going to be my interpreter for the rest of the fucking podcast.
I got you.
Yeah. If it licks a window, just wait for Adam to explain it. Um, but I realized, talking to this woman and like actually being interested in her, not like, "Hey, you want to come fuck?" But actually, "Hey, this chick's kind of cool." I realized how fucking jaded I really am after my divorce. And again, I was talking to a friend.
no,
I know, right? Well, I mean, and but you don't know. It's like when I talk about,
I
it's like
wouldn't know anything about that myself.
when I talk about my upbringing and the shit that my parents did to me, and you look at, like, I'll look up and people are just like either crying or they're vomiting or they're like, "How do you?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah. I guess everybody didn't go through that kind of bullshit, did they?" You just you get used to it, I guess. And yeah, I'm jaded as fuck, dude. I've decided I'm going to hit up my therapist next week and book some time and be like, "Hey, can we talk about this?" Because this is not going to help me have a healthy relationship. But I told a friend of mine, I told her, I said, when you go 15 years and you think you're happy and you think you're good, and then one day chick's just like, I'm bored, I'm out. It's really fucking hard to, one, trust a female in that situation again. I mean, I have female friends, I have women friends that are super dear to me. I mean, like sisters. But in a in a romantic relationship,
Yeah,
They're like
stepsister.
stepsisters to me.
they're like stepsisters. They are like stepsisters. I mean, I'd fuck all of them. Don't get me wrong. I would fuck all of my female friends. I don't think there's a one of them that if they were just like, "Hey, Dan, do you want to fuck no strings attached?" I'd be like, "Fuck yes."
But
Um,
only if they got stuck in the dryer.
yeah, well, yeah, you got to stick your head in the dryer and be like, "Oh no, step Dan." Um, but I have a hard time trusting women in any kind of romantic relationship. I'm always expecting them to be scheming and waiting to fight. Like, I can't open myself up to them and be vulnerable, because if I do, I know damn well they're just going to wait until I don't have my armor on and stab the fuck out of my heart. And I don't want to be like that. Like, I know it can happen, right? But every time you get in your car, a semi could fucking T-bone you and you're done, right? So what do you do? I mean, I'd like to be in a relationship again, but I want it to be healthy. Now the difference is these days is I know when to walk away. I know when somebody is abusing me. Um, I'm pretty sure my ex was a narcissist, and I hate throwing that out there because I know everybody thinks that I think everyone's a narcissist now, and I don't. But I was thinking back of some of the things that happened, and some of the conversations that were had, and I think I've talked about the little, like I told this chick, I'm not here to change for anybody, and it little nugget that Doug gave me one time when we were talking, and I was tore up, and it was after the divorce, a year or two. I was just having a resurgence of stupid bullshit, and I was like, man, it's hard to be mad at her because she helped me change, or she made me change and all this stuff, and Doug was like, nah, she didn't. I was like, yeah, man, she really did. I did this and I did that, and he's like, no, she didn't. I'm like, yeah, she did. He's like, nope. He said, you did that. You made those changes. He said, she may have been the reason. He said, but you're the one that made all the changes. You're the one that pushed through and identified what your, you know, faults were, or whatever you want to call them, and worked to move past them and all that stuff. He said, that was all you, dude. And I was like, huh. And I have never forgotten that, one. And two, I have shared that with other people. When people say, I don't know how to get by without her, and she was why I did this, and she was why I did that, and I'll be like, yeah, man, but she didn't do it. You did. I mean, again, she was your impetus, but you can find that again. So Doug will surprise you once in a while in between turd flavored lollipops and turds in the punch bowl. He has an obsession with turds. Um,
Doug
he'll
also shared something with me that I have also shared with many people now.
and what is that?
Well, it's it doesn't go away, but it's treatable. So
I knew there was a
And it ain't,
punchline coming. I just didn't.
it ain't gonna suck itself.
I
No,
mean,
Step
look.
Adam.
there's a cream for it, so it's okay. I mean, you just gotta.
Not
Hey, look.
everything stays in
He told you
Vegas.
he was positive, and you decided to do it anyway. So
I
I don't want
thought
to
that
hear
was him consenting. Okay, I'm like,
it.
"Are you
Flare
sure?"
ups
And he
are a
said, "I'm
bitch.
positive."
Flare ups are just
Flare-ups.
part of life. They don't even test. I think Adam knows this, but um, because I do like to fuck chicks on Tinder, I also like getting tested for STDs, and can happily say that I don't have any. But I noticed that the company that I was using, uh, they used to do HSV1 and HSV2, I think it was.
Yep,
And the last time I got tested, I was like, oh, that's weird. I was like, did
they
I
don't do
buy the
it.
wrong test? And I went through and I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking. They just don't even do it anymore. And I think it was Adam was
That's
telling
because
me,
everybody has herpes now.
yeah, they said that it is so prolific and not necessarily dangerous that they just don't even bother fucking testing anymore. Because Adam
Yeah,
went and
it's
got,
not. I mean, it doesn't affect you in any way, but
not
yeah,
really. I mean, it's
I got
it's painful and ugly, but that's about it. I
It's
mean,
like HPV. They don't have an actual test for guys. There's
I've
no
I
effective
just
way to test them.
I just found that out not too long ago either. Yeah. And aren't we like over the age? There's something about age with HPV in men
if
too.
there's an
Like,
age, you're probably over it.
that's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah. I
You're
think it
talking
was
about the
something like,
hill?
yeah, that too. It was something like if you're over 40 or something, like don't even bother getting tested because it doesn't matter, or some shit. I don't remember. I guess they think we're not getting laid, but
No,
it was
it
really
was
weird though
Bless
that
their hearts.
prior to there being a vaccine. Basically, if you had sex in your 20s, you got it. That's just
yeah,
all there was to
yeah,
it, period, full stop.
yeah, I do. I do remember reading that that was another one that was right. It was just like fucking everywhere. And I think what it is like for men, it doesn't really cause any serious
It can
issues
cause
or any
it,
issues. We're just carriers.
it can cause penis cancer. That's like the only thing. Yeah.
Oof, that doesn't
But I
sound
mean, at
fun.
that
And
point, like, what do you?
increased risk of
Right.
prostate cancer.
Ah, good
The
old
old
prostate
dick rot.
cancer. And I think Doug's the one that told me about this. Speaking of fucking dick rot, um, there's a test, a blood test that you can take for prostate cancer. And any men listening to this that have ever had their fucking prostate checked, dude, that is a terribly, terribly uncomfortable and just. I remember the first one I had. The guy,
You just need more foreplay.
yeah, that
Yeah,
might
speak for
be.
yourself,
That
Dan.
might
Damn.
be. He sticks his finger up there, he presses, he's like, all right. And he tosses, and I don't think he thought it through, but he like tosses the tissues onto the bed. And in my mind I hear, no, clean yourself up and get the fuck out. Um,
Here's
and
some ab fare.
oh my God, and I couldn't shit right for 2 days. It just that was terrible. And after my because my dad had prostate cancer, and after my vasectomy and the surgery and all that shit, I went to find a new urologist, and I was like, I need to stay on top of the prostate thing because, again, my dad had it, whatever. So I go to this guy and I'm like, hey, I want to do the blood test. And all he's like, I don't really like the blood test. I'm like, but why? And right, Adam, right? Thank you. And
Yeah,
he
I don't
said,
really like the blood test. If you just bend over right here,
yeah, he's rubbing himself. And what he claims is that the blood test, that they have a relatively, I don't know, high chance, or that they will pop positive. And then once that happens, you've got to go through the process of the biopsy and all that. He said, and he's like, but I stick my finger up there. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if the fucking thing comes back positive and you reach up in there and you don't feel anything that feels like, a swollen prostate or whatever, why wouldn't you just do the blood test again? I mean, that's what I would do. But as part of my,
but he already had his gloves on.
yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah. And like fucking, soft music playing and shit. We
It was
actually
weird.
got a
He had
little,
his 2 hands on your hips while he was checking.
yeah, that was the
your
weird part, was the fact that both hands were on the table and he was probing me. And,
And then the lights started changing. It
yeah,
was,
he told me
very
he loved me. I
discotheque.
was like, I don't know what's going on. I felt something, a warm sensation. It was really weird. By the time I turned around, he was smoking a cigarette. But we got
And
a little.
very white music started.
I can't get enough of your love, baby. We got a little nasty with each other because he was just kind of being a dick.
Yeah, you did.
And yeah, we did.
I
So
bet
I
he
was
did.
like, yeah, all right. And I just left. I was like, man, you're not the urologist for me. But part of my testosterone treatment is every 8 weeks I have to get blood work, and the prostate that prostate blood test is part of the regimen. And I'm way low. Like there, I was nowhere near the scale of having to worry
You
about
got a low
anything.
prostate.
Exactly, and I want to keep it that fucking way. I know it swells up sometimes. I'm almost 50 years old, and sometimes I'm like, just give me a little pee pee. Just come on, give me a little pee pee pee. But
You're gonna be one of those guys leaned over at the urinal, just like,
right,
ugh,
come on, come on.
ugh.
Oh God, those guys, I feel so bad for. Like, it used to be funny, but now that I've gotten older, I genuinely feel bad for guys when I hear them at the fucking urinal and they're, yeah, like you said, kind of bent over, and then and then you just hear this like stream, and you hear them go, oh God, yeah.
Did you just run a marathon, or are you jerking
Fuck,
off over
dude.
there? Because you're breathing awfully heavy.
Right? It's like, brother, you need to go get that checked. Like, that's not even funny anymore. You probably have prostate cancer, or at least swollen. Fucking go get it tested, man.
Oh God, it's so good.
I've heard that. I have heard that more than once. Of course, I've also heard dudes like shit and go, oh Jesus, but I've been there too. So I have been there. But my old man, he's alcoholic, fucking worked in chemical companies, coal mines, 3 packs a day, chewed fucking. I mean, I'm not saying that I can't get prostate cancer. I'm just saying that asking if you've got a history of it in your family isn't always necessarily, like a
You're
fucking death
definitely
sentence.
100 million% not gonna get it.
Yeah, definitely, probably not. maybe.
I mean, based on that, maybe it was
Doug.
his lifestyle, not necessarily genetics.
Right. And that's kind of my thing is that, but I mean, all you can do at our age. And I also found a test for that you can avoid colonoscopies. I
Yeah,
got the
don't go
honey
to the doctor.
test. Yeah, just don't go to the doctor. You can go, you basically poop into a little hammock and then you scrape that and send it in and they test for, I think it's hemoglobin in the fucking fecal matter.
Oh, I've had to do that. Yeah, you put it like over the toilet and shit into the yep.
Blood in your poo is what they're looking for. I bought one of those. I haven't taken it yet because that's another one. Again, buddy of ours has it's just every time he turns around, he's got a new cancer, beats it, and another one comes up. But he had, I think, colorectal
Colorado.
cancer. He had Colorado cancer, and people die from that shit. Or as Doug likes to say, I hope he dies from ass cancer. And that's a real thing, and it will kill you, and it is fucking horrible because
I don't, for the record, the person that we're referring to, I hope nothing bad happens to them.
Oh yeah, no. Sorry.
Yeah, bad
Sorry,
choice of words.
no.
Yeah, as Doug says, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, no. We love that guy. And we want him to be very healthy and happy for many, many, many years. No. But one of Doug's favorite things when he's talking about somebody he really, really, really doesn't like is, I hope that motherfucker dies of ass cancer. Or dick cancer. I think you've said dick cancer too, haven't you?
Yeah, dick cancer. That's
Yeah.
that's the ultimate level of hate is dick cancer.
Doug
What?
wishing dick cancer upon you.
Because here's the thing that goes that goes with it. I want them to go to the doctor because something is bothering them, and they biopsy the shit, and it turns out that it's this acute small cell, terribly aggressive thing, and they're going to have to cut their dick off if they're going to have a chance. And then they cut their dick off, and then it gets them.
And the end. So yeah.
Yeah. Now
Metastatic dick cancer
is exclusively for the level of the most evil motherfuckers that you got. That
that's
is not
pretty lovable.
Yeah.
He doesn't hate a lot of people.
I think Dante wrote about that in the Inferno. That was like the lowest layer of hell or something.
Fourth or fifth layer, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right.
Maybe the sixth.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right there.
Could just be dicking
I'll
around.
tell you guys about my trip to the Outer Banks.
Ow. No.
I went to the Wright Brothers Memorial with my buddy, where they jumped off the hill to test their glider. And on top of the hill, they built this big concrete monument to the Wright Brothers. And we just walked around it saying shit like, man, I can't believe they lived in this thing. Until someone corrected us. And he was very concerned.
Well, look at you. I mean, you look like a millennial, right? And I saw your buddy. He looks like a pothead. And,
So he said, we were like, yeah, this is crazy. They lived in here. I guess they got on top of this thing and jumped off with the glider or something. And there was a guy up there with his girlfriend. And he said, guys, they didn't live in this. This wasn't here first. They lived in those houses down there at the bottom of the hill. And it was like these two little shacks they had.
Mm-hmm.
And we just stared at him, just completely like nothing going on behind our eyes.
Right.
We're like, oh, okay, yeah. Oh, so they live down there. And he's like, yeah, you get it. Yeah, they live down there. And we're like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes more sense, man.
Yeah, they just worked at the top of the hill. They needed a quicker way to get home.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And we were like, the funniest part is that when he said that to us, we walked away and we're like, man, that guy's a dumbass.
That guy doesn't.
They didn't even live at the bottom of the hill. They lived in Ohio. What a moron.
They lived in Ohio.
At least they're not Mississippi.
MISSISSIPPI, bitches.
I kept asking people why there was so much bicycle stuff at the museum there.
I don't understand the point of trolling. I've never.
Dude,
Well, no, that's not
I
true.
was like, dude, why is there so much bicycle stuff here? I thought they built like a plane or something.
You should have been like, didn't they build like a rocket?
Right?
Yeah, this
They
is
were-
where NASA was founded, right?
This is they were definitely flat earthers. They were proving flat Earth.
No, they came up with a biplane,
Gay.
but
Bye. He said bye.
My working
Bye.
theory is that one of them was trying to fuck a chick who lived at the Outer Banks, because I can't think of a better reason to drive all the way from Dayton to the Outer Banks to jump off a fucking hill.
Pussy and money, right? Pussy and money have made dudes do some really fucking stupid shit.
Oh,
good
yeah.
luck on your date tonight, Dan.
Hey, we're going to get pho, so shocker.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
fuck. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we heard you. We heard you, Dan. Jeez.
I said
Rub
pho.
it in.
I mean, I wouldn't say no. I would love to be that guy that would be like, no, baby, no. I want to take this slow and do it right, but I'm straight.
Put on some
So,
Marvin Gaye first.
yeah, it's not. Nah, dude, no. I'm straight. I said. God, I swear to God, you're so autistic. What the fuck is your zip code? Swear.
8675309.
That is, as a matter of fact. Why don't you now everybody knows. Now I'm gonna get murdered or something. I don't know.